Welcome back, students. Let us continue with our chapter Euclid's algorithm and real numbers. We studied Euclid's algorithm and its applications in previous lectures. Now let us study about real numbers. You are already knowing about real numbers. You have already studied in Standard 9's Chapter 1 Number Systems. Let us recall it. Number systems are first one, natural numbers. The numbers counting from 1 to infinity, that is all positive numbers, come under a set of natural numbers which is denoted by capital N. Next is whole numbers. All natural numbers including 0 comes under the category of a set which is known as set of whole numbers, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. and it is denoted by capital W. Now integers, all positive numbers, all negative numbers and 0 comes under a category of a set which is known as integers and it is denoted by Z. Next is rational numbers. Any number which can be represented in the form P by Q comes under the category of a set which is known as rational numbers. You can see the example -4, it can be written as -4 by 1, so it is a rational number. 3, it can be written as 3 by 1, so it is a rational number. 1 by 5, 0.3 can be written as 3 by 10, so it is also a rational number. Now next is irrational numbers. The numbers which cannot be represented in the form P by Q are called irrational numbers. Let us try to understand them in detail. Irrational numbers. A number which cannot be written in the form P by Q is called irrational number. For example, root of 2, root of 3, pi, 0.1101110000, etc. are irrational numbers. Now, what are real numbers? The collection of rational numbers as well as irrational numbers together make a set of real numbers, and this set of real numbers is denoted by R. So, real numbers is equal to rational number plus irrational number, means all the numbers are included in a set of real numbers. Decimals can be classified into two types, terminating and non-terminating. A terminating decimal is a decimal which is having end. For example, 0.5, 8.4, 0.25 are terminating decimals. If we take non-terminating decimals, then these non-terminating decimals are again of two types, recurring and non-recurring. Recurring means the decimal in which either one or more than one digits are getting repeated and division is not ending. For example, if we take 0.3 bar, it is obtained by dividing 1 by 3. If we divide 1 by 3, we will get 0.333333, etc. And it can be written as 0.3 bar. Here you can see that digit 3 is repeating, so it is recurring. Similarly, another example is 3.3 bar, 1.81 bar, 1.327 bar. Next is non-recurring decimals. Non-recurring decimals are the decimals in which ending is not there and digit is also not getting repeated. You can see the example 5.847123, etc. Root 2. If you take root of 2, it will be 1.41421356, etc. and it will not end. Another is root 3. So all these are non-recurring decimals. If a decimal is terminating decimal, it can be represented in the form of P by Q and it is a rational number. If it is non-terminating and recurring, means division is not ending but the digit or digits are getting repeated, it can also be represented in the form of P by Q. Therefore, it comes under the category of rational numbers. But if it is non-terminating and non-recurring, that is, the division is not ending and digits are also not getting repeated, it comes under the category which is known as irrational numbers. So irrational numbers are non-terminating and non-recurring decimal expressions, and generally the root of prime numbers are irrational. Now let us prove that root 2 is irrational. This type of questions are frequently asked in the exam for 2 marks. So for proving that root 2 is irrational, we will prove its contradictory statement that Let root 2 be rational. If any number is rational number, it can be represented in the form of p by q, or you can say a by b. So let root 2 is equal to a by b, where GCD of a and b is 1. Any number, if it is in the form of p by q, the GCD of those two numbers is always 1. For example, if we take 15 by 30, it can be written as 1 by 2, and we know that GCD of 1 and 2 is always 1. So let root 2 is equal to a by b, where GCD of a and b is 1. On squaring, we will get 2 is equal to a square by b square. So we can write it as a square is equal to 2b square, which means that 2 is a factor of a square. If we are able to write a square as 2 multiplied by any number, it means that 2 is a factor of a square. And if 2 is a factor of a square, 2 is a factor of a. For example, 2 is a factor of 16, then 2 is a factor of 4 also. So 2 is a factor of a. So we can write a as multiple of 2. So let a is equal to 2 into a1, where a1 is any natural numbers. Again squaring, we get 4a1 square is equal to a square, but a square is equal to 2b square. So 4a1 square is equal to 2b square. On solving, we will get b square is equal to 2a1 square, which means that 2 is a factor of b square. Therefore, 2 is a factor of b also. So we can write b as 2 into b1, where b1 is any natural number. Now here you can see that 2 is a factor of a also and 2 is a factor of b also. So if we take GCD of a and b, it will be equal to 2. But here we have supposed that GCD of a and b is equal to 1, which is a contradictory statement. So we can say that root 2 is irrational. It is not rational. Our supposition is wrong. Next is, if p is prime number, then root p is irrational. So here we are asked to prove that if p is a prime number, then root of any prime number is always irrational. So again we will suppose that root of p is rational. So if root of p is rational, it can be written as root p is equal to a by b, where GCD of a and b is 1. On squaring, we get p square is equal to a square by b square. So we can write a square is equal to pb square. So here a square can be written in terms of p. So p is a factor of a square. Therefore, p is also a factor of a, and we can write a in terms of p. So let a is equal to p into m, where m is any natural number. So on squaring, we will get a square is equal to p square m square. But a square is equal to pb square. Therefore, p square m square is equal to pb square, and we get b square is equal to pm square. So b square can also be written in terms of p. Therefore, p is a factor of b square, which implies p is a factor of b. Now here p is a factor of a and p is a factor of b. So GCD of a and b is equal to p, where p is any prime number. But we have supposed that GCD of AB is 1. So our supposition is wrong and root p is irrational number. Now let us prove that root of 72 is irrational. We can write 72 as 36 into 2. So root of 72 is equal to root of 36 into 2, that is equal to 6 root 2, because square root of 36 is 6. So root 72 can also be written as 6 root 2. So we will suppose that 6 root 2 is equal to m is rational number. Now we can write it as m by 6 is equal to root 2. Now, root 2 is irrational, so m by 6 is also equal to irrational, because m by 6 is equal to root 2. So, our supposition is wrong and root 72 is irrational. Next is, we have to prove that 5 minus root 3 is irrational. So let us suppose that 5 minus root 3 is rational. If it is rational, it can be written in the form a by b. So 5 minus root 3 is equal to a by b. Therefore, we can write 5 minus a by b is equal to root 3. that is root 3 is equal to 5 minus a by b, that is equal to 5b minus a by b. Now 5b minus a by b is equal to root 3. We know that root 3 is irrational, so 5b minus a by b is also irrational. So our supposition, that is 5 minus root 3 is rational, is wrong. 5 minus root 3 is irrational. Now let us understand this theorem. A rational number a is equal to p by q has non-terminating recurring decimal expansion. When it will have recurring decimal expansion? If and only if q is not of the form 2 raised to n 5 raised to 2 raised to m 5 raised to n, where mn belongs to natural number including 0. In other words, GCD of p and q is always 1, and q has at least one more prime factor other than 2 or 5. Means it will have non-terminating and recurring decimal expression only if the denominator, that is q, is of the form 2 raised to m 5 raised to n. Let us try to understand it with the help of example. Decide if the following rational numbers have terminating decimal expansion or not, and if it has, find it. Let us consider first one, 337 by 125. If we write it in the form of p by q, we will get q is equal to 125, and we know that we can write 125 as 5 raised to 3. So 125 can be written as 5 raised to 3 into 2 raised to 0, because 2 raised to 0 is 1. So here q can be represented as 2 raised to m 5 raised to n, and GCD of 337 and 125 is 1. So 337 by 125 has terminating decimal expansion according to our theorem. Now we need to obtain its decimal form. For obtaining decimal form, here we can see that 125 is equal to 5 raised to 3 into 2 raised to 0. Here power of 5 is 3. So we need to make power of 2 also 3. So 2 raised to 3 is 8. So we will multiply numerator and denominator by 8. So on multiplying 337 by 8 and 125 by 8, we will get 2696 by 1000, which can be written as 2.696, which is the decimal form of 337 upon 125. Now let us see the second example. 11 by 1250. 1250 can be written as 5 raised to 4 into 2 raised to 1. So it is of the form 2 raised to m into 5 raised to n, and GCD of 11 and 1250 is 1. So it has terminating decimal expansion. Now how to obtain terminating decimal expansion? Here you can see that power of 5 is 4, but power of 2 is 1. So we will multiply it by 2 raised to 3, so that power of 5 and 2 both becomes equal. So on multiplying numerator and denominator by 2 raised to 3, we get 11 into 2 raised to 3 divided by 5 raised to 4 into 2 raised to 4, that is equal to 88 upon 10,000, that is equal to 0.0088, which is the decimal form of 11 upon 1250. Now third one, 12 by 35. 12 by 35 can be written as 12 by 5 into 7, that is q can be written as 5 raised to 1 into 7 raised to 1. Now here you can see that q has a prime factor 7 other than 2 or 5. We can't write q as 2 raised to m into 5 raised to n form. So it is not having terminating decimal expansion. Next is 42 by 35. We will obtain its simplest form first, that is 42 can be written as 7 into 6 and 35 can be written as 7 into 5. So its simple form is 6 by 5. When we will compare it with p by q, we will get q is equal to 5, which can be written as 5 raised to 1 into 2 raised to 0. So here q can be represented in the form 2 raised to m 5 raised to n. So it is having a terminating decimal expansion. Now how to obtain its terminating decimal expansion? Here we can see that power of 5 is 1 and power of 2 is 0. So to make power of 2 as 1, multiply numerator and denominator by 2. So 6 into 2 upon 5 into 2, that is 12 by 10, that is equal to 1.2, which is its decimal form. Now, with this, we end our chapter. The weightage of this chapter is of 4 marks, and 2 marks questions are generally asked from this chapter.